In the last episode, we talked a little bit about charging on Tesla chargers, well, attempting to, very briefly, and also we were talking about the last leg of the trip, which was between Angers and the Loire castles. In this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about traveling further afield and also pros and cons about doing a road trip with an electric car in France. So stay tuned and hope you enjoy this episode. This episode is also a little bit technical, and the people who would be interested in this would probably be people who own an electric car or would like to own an electric car, or people who already own a BMW i3. So if it's you, then watch this video, otherwise see you later. So welcome to this road trip again. There are a couple of things that I wanted to share about doing a trip with an electric car in France in 2019. And I think there are several categories. So first of all, about the driving itself. In terms of driving, a BMW i3, I think it's the greatest car that I've ever had driving. It's very fun to drive, it's great on the road, very good, very smooth, and very pleasurable to drive. So if you haven't got one, it's really something to try. There is about the driving, but there's also about the aspect of planning the drive or doing the drive. And what I've learned with that BMW i3 that I have, which has got the range extender, which is the petrol engine, when you're on the motorway like I am now, having the petrol engine, if you want to be able to drive more than 100 kilometers, because the battery is limited to about 100 kilometers, pretty much, because I've got the smaller battery version. The range extender is a lifesaver. Just in terms of stress, like I've now done 1,600 kilometers in about a week, and actually pretty much I've never encountered the anxiety of not being able to charge, or there's always a petrol station anyway. And in fact, my fears of, I was thinking I was going to use the Rex a lot more than I've used, and I haven't. And what's interesting about that is that in fact there's a lot more charging stations than there used to be 1 year or 2 years ago when I bought the car. And the fact that there are so many charging stations is a very good thing. Pretty much, sometimes I was hoping not to charge at all, and it turned up there was a charging point. So I think that's a very good thing about it. Makes the driving a lot easier. But that has got an impact on the planning, but you don't need to plan as much as you used to have to plan a year and a half ago, when you had to really check not only if you had the charging point, but what type of charging point they were going to be. Were they going to be fast? Did you attend 10 hours, or did you have to just stay an hour? So mainly on the motorways, as it is now, every 100 kilometers or 80 kilometers you get a fast direct current charging point. 50 kilowatts is pretty much the norm from what I've got, especially in France with the corridor network. Then you will find that little villages, particularly in the southwest of France, near Bordeaux and Aquitaine, even all the way up to Brittany. Every single village tends to have at least one charging point. Sometimes they are accelerated, like fast Type 2 type plugs, but you do still get between 8 kilowatts and 22 kilowatts on those, so I think that's pretty good, makes your life easier. I would feel a lot more anxious though with this car if it didn't have the range extender, being a 2015 model with a small battery, with the 18 kilowatts battery. I think it is. It would be challenging. But with the new i3s, I believe that even without the range extenders, that now they've stopped doing the range extenders, then it's pretty solid, pretty good, good going. So we are departing now. Just put 15 kilowatts into with a fast charger on a 50 kilowatts charger. In fact, in about 35 minutes. Really good. And funny that you still get a lot of looks of people who look at you and think about they talk to you about having an electric car and so on, and they share their concerns about it. So that's about the driving and the planning. In terms of one thing that I think is a requirement, I live in England, so if you're like me, abroad in a foreign country, but you've got to know what provider to use. So in France, I use chargemap.com, which is basically, it's pretty much universal. I think I've come across one charging station that was not a ChargeMap compatible, and basically what they've tried to do with ChargeMap is they've tried to unify all the diverse providers and all the thousands of cards. Like in the UK, you've got different Charge Now, and then you've got Charge Points, and you've got Point and Ecotricity network and stuff. Whereas in France, if you got that card, you pretty much got access to about 80% of any charging points, which is honestly quite impressive. Well, thank you guys for sticking around to this point in this video. I think it was quite intense. There was a lot of information there. There was a lot of me talking, and we want to try to avoid that in the future. But if you like the format, then let me know in the comments below. If you found this video useful for any reason, or if you thought it was crap, then let me know. Feedback is very much essential in my views, and I leave you to like the video and share it with your friend if you think it's something useful. I apologize for posting this video so long after the other ones, but I haven't had a chance. I was very busy in the last couple of months. I just wanted to say that I hope you like the new format, and I hope you enjoy the fact that we're just not going about an itinerary but more about general tips. So thank you so much, and I shall catch you on the next episode. We'll talk a little bit more about the car itself and the end of the road trip. And I would like to leave you with a couple of photos and videos from the road trip itself when we were down to Marcillac and the south of Bordeaux.